Welcome back to Exploring Whiskeys. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin. This is Yellowstone. Not the show, the Select Bourbon.
If you haven't watched it, you need to get caught up.
Yeah, well,
This guy.
Yeah, we haven't watched any. We plan to. So this is the Select Bourbon. This is got a really interesting history to it. And all right, see, I'm telling you, natural cork actually just has with a little wood. Yeah, it just has a better noise to it. Anyway, so Yellowstone it traces its lineage back a long time. So around 1872.
And not in Montana.
Not in Montana. No, not in Montana. It has nothing to.
It's not a frontier whiskey.
Really, nothing to do with the show.
Or the area, or
the area. Yeah, this is a Kentucky distillery. Yeah, so limestone back to 1872, which is what it says on the label. Founded by J.B. Dant, and he had a couple partners, and I can't remember exactly who they were. They started the distillery. It bounced around a handful of times. Eventually, it landed in some investors' hands, and the company got changed to Luxco. Mm-hmm. Luxco is the people that make I'm trying to think of some of the different Ezra books. Mm-hmm. I think is Luxco, and the who's the one that makes the cigar malt? I'm just drawing a blank on some of these whiskeys right now for some reason. Anyway, so they own a handful, and I believe they either partnered or were bought out, but just by MGP. Don't they? Them and Luxco, didn't they just get somehow partnered up?
End of last year.
Yeah, so they're now partnered up somehow. So that's Luxco. But the fun part is in 2010, longtime descendants of both J.B. Dant, who founded the company, and a Beam. So Paul and Steve Beam, they started getting into some of the history of their family, and they founded the Limestone Branch Distilling Company, which is who makes this. Mm-hmm. So they're based out of, I think, Lebanon? Do they call it Lebanon?
That is Lebanon. Yes.
It's okay. All right. I didn't know if they mumbled it all together the way that's
Lebanon.
No. Lebanon Belody?
No.
What is it? Lebanon. So based out of Lebanon, Kentucky, they are partnered with Luxco. Mm-hmm. So they do. All right, they don't really disclose who they distill with, but they're partnered with Luxco, and Luxco really doesn't disclose who they distill most of their whiskeys with either.
I do find it interesting though, is that the rise in popularity of this bottle just so happens to
correlate with the TV show, which has
nothing to do with each other. Same logo. That is the logo that's at the Dutton Ranch.
Really?
Yes.
With the
Yellowstone
that same
Dutton
Y?
Ranch. Yes,
that Y?
Same Y.
Wow, that's funny. So you just took a Kentucky brand and just shoved it over into Montana for fun, huh?
Well, yeah. You haven't watched the show yet.
I have not.
Incredible.
I can't say anything.
The show's incredible. And I enjoy this bottle. Not because of the show. I do enjoy the bottle. But we forgot the last part of this, where the recipe.
The rye. All right, the
recipe.
The recipe. So they figure out this recipe, and they trace it back through journals and things like that. But the last missing piece was the yeast. And could not find what yeast was used to make this whiskey. And then they ended up finding an old bottle at a museum, a whiskey museum in Bardstown, Kentucky, and that's how they sourced the yeast, repopulate it, and they used that yeast to make this whiskey. That's just cool. Like, I mean, total nod to an 1800s whiskey by finding the yeast that they used. Very cool.
But there is a slight tie to Montana for this one.
Okay.
A portion of the sales do
Very
go...
true. Very true. Do go to Yellowstone.
Yep.
Not just Yellowstone, but for the National Parks Conservation Association is a portion of their proceeds go there.
Yep.
So it does ultimately go back to Yellowstone National Park, partially.
Yep. You got 75% corn.
Yep.
A little lighter on the rye. We're at 13%.
13 and 12.
And then 12
barley,
is the barley.
Right? 93 proof. It's a light nose.
It's a light nose, yeah.
That's a very light nose. I was kind of expecting a little. I was expecting more of a frontier whiskey. It really doesn't come off as a frontier whiskey.
Nope. But I think just because of the name.
Yeah, the name and
The name alone.
the history. I just thought it would
Yep. No.
be a little more aggressive.
It's softer. You get
It's a little softer on the nose.
A soft oak, a little vanilla, caramel, a little bit of spice.
Well,
This is a very easy drinker.
yeah. The nose has just like light hints of all those things that you just said. Actually, I get a little more rye spice on the initial palate.
Yep.
And the spice sits there for a little while, and it kind of comes.
It's just like a handful of baking spices just kind of
Yeah.
sit there.
Yeah, it's not like a full-on pepper rye spice. It's
No.
more like baking spices, and they kind of like just play on your tongue.
And they kind of stay there.
Yeah,
It's got a longer
and it
aftertaste.
sits. All right, I'm not going to say it's a full hug. It's one of those whiskeys that kind of sits in the upper chest. It doesn't come all the way
I
down.
got a good oil
There is a very good oil,
coat.
which makes me really interested to see what this is going to taste like with some water. Because the oil is just going to open up. Second sips, I don't like to use this word.
Sweeter.
It's smoother. They're sweeter, so there's a little more sweetness. The spice is there, but it drinks it goes down so nicely.
I got more brown sugar on the back end though.
Okay, I can see
Not
that.
burnt, just brown sugar. Just
Brown sugar.
Yep.
All right. No, I got no arguments to any of that. It just drinks a little bit easier the second sip.
And more of if you open up like your canister of brown sugar, just take that. Not when you bake with it or drop it on a yam or a sweet potato. There's a difference.
You
Like
have
the
a canister?
taste.
I'm sorry. I get the Domino's bag.
Bag, and you roll it back up. No, you have a canister.
You're fancy.
That's all my wife. It's not me. It's not me.
I got you. No, it's good. It's a very nice rounded bourbon. There's a little bit of spice. There's a lot of sweet notes that kind of play all around those spices. It's a nice round bourbon.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. They don't. All right, it's not age statement, and they don't have to, but on the website it does say 4 to 7 years.
Okay.
It does say Kentucky Straight Bourbon, so that means it has to be at least 4 years. But on the website it does say 4 to 7. So, all right. So some drip drops in here, and see if that oil does the magic that I think it's going to. I can see it dancing. It's fun. It's also like if you ever seen absinthe, when they put the little drips of water in absinthe and the green starts to dance. If you pay attention when you put a couple drops of water in your whiskey, like you'll see the oil dance around that water. It's just a little harder to see when it's brown versus that light green.
I get more of the rye.
The rye comes up a little bit, but it doesn't change that much. Yeah. It's a little bit more spicy, but it doesn't change a whole lot on the nose. I was really kind of, I don't know, I was kind of expecting a little bit more sweetness to pop up, but, or even ethanol. Neither one of those. A little bit more rye.
Ooh, that first sip, way more creamier.
Yeah, the oil notes and the creamy notes are a little bit stronger, but everything else is kind of muted, oddly. Like the rye
sweet,
notes,
very
the spice
sweet.
comes down a little bit. The sweet notes are there, but they're just brought down a little bit. All right, let's give it a second. But as of right now, I'm thinking neat is the way to drink this guy.
I've had this once on ice, and it was okay.
It was
Just
okay.
a small, like a really small
Yeah.
freezer cube, not a full block. But I prefer it neat.
I more find the interesting part, like even the back of the bottle is signed by Stephen B. Beam, president and distiller. Beam. That's so. Whereas Beam is run by the nose now because the beams and the nose married up. It's really funny how.
So you're expecting more of a peanut.
No, because I know it's not distilled by Jim Beam. So that one I do know. I was not expecting more of peanut.
So I'll say the price on this bottle,
Okay.
I've seen it all across the board.
When I was looking up some notes, like you can find it on sale a lot.
So
Oddly.
the cheapest I've got, this is my second or third bottle.
Okay.
I can't remember which one. But I know the cheapest I've gotten it was $38.
That's a solid buy for
$38. But then I've also bought it for $48.
On the websites, the MSRP is $50. But every place that I read and looked up, this is a whiskey that goes on sale a lot.
Yeah, well, you should buy it because it's,
So,
especially at $38.
yeah, around $40, this is a great buy.
Yep.
93 proof, 4 to 7 year old bourbon, a nice body to it, nice spice, nice sweetness, like a good balance.
It's heavier on the sweeter side. So if that's kind of what you lean to,
True. It's not super spicy by any
this
means.
is a good bottle for you to try.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I've never seen it at a restaurant. I've seen it at a number of liquor stores.
It's interesting.
Again, price is $38 to $48, $50. It just depends.
It's a really good bottle. I'm gonna say $50. $50 MSRP. No.
No.
That
But again,
38 to 40 bucks?
The cheapest I've gonna get is 38.
I think that's
The
a
last
really
time I
solid
bought
buy.
it, I got to get it. I got it for 48. But also, I'm kind of curious: is the popularity of the show, is it driven up the?
That's a
Because
interesting
again,
idea.
it is the exact same logo.
That's an interesting
That's
idea.
the
I
logo
don't
on the
know.
ranch.
I don't know the answer to that one. Do they brand their steer with the Y, like that? Do they do steer?
No, you have to watch the show, man. You'll
All right,
figure
I
out why they have the brand.
Okay. I have not watched any else.
I'm sure most of our followers will know why, but you don't.
Nope. I am ignorant to the facts of what's going on here.
You'll have to let me know about the brand once you see it.
Okay.
Okay. No,
Very solid. I like the history. I like the fact that they're somehow tied into the Beam family, but they're not Beam.
I just like they went to the
Like OG,
jug in the museum.
A museum jug to get your yeast to
Yep.
make your whiskey. That's awesome.
I'll continue to buy this. This will be one of those will always be on my cart.
Closer to the
really
40
enjoy-
buck, I think that's a solid buy. Once you get closer to the $50, it might be slightly overpriced, but
If you get it for under 50, let's say 45,
yeah,
40 to 45 bucks, perfect.
yeah.
It's such an easy
I would agree.
drinker. Such an easy drinker.
Very solid. Nice.
And they do have another one.
Yes, they have. This is the Select Bourbon. They have another one
It's got a black label,
like
a darker label.
It's supposed to be the next step up, right? But I haven't
had it yet. I actually haven't even seen it in the stores.
Yeah.
I've seen it on social media, but I've never seen it in person. So that'll be next.
Yep.
As soon as I see it, I'm going to buy it.
There you go.
Again, has nothing to do with the show, but they do give proceeds back to the park for conservation efforts. So it's a solid bottle. You know, hopefully you can find it around that $40 mark.
Yeah.
I guess it probably depends on what area of the country you're in, but it is a solid purchase. I don't think you can go wrong, especially if you like the sweeter ones.
Yeah.
On the sweeter side,
a little sweeter with just a touch
very
of the
smooth,
spice.
very smooth,
very nice.
So, well, we hope you enjoyed our review. Anxious to find the next one.
Yeah.
And try that one because I really enjoyed this bottle. So if you did, we encourage you to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen.
If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You get notified every time we put on a new episode. And let us know if you've tried either the Yellowstone or whatever the name of that other one is. Love to hear from you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining.
See you on the next episode.
Cheers.